If you are feeling suicidal now, please stop long enough to read this. It will only take about 5 minutes. I do not want to talk you out of your bad feelings. I'm not a therapist or other mental health professional, only someone who knows what it's like to be in pain. I don't know who you are or why you're reading this page. I only know that for the moment you're reading it, and that is good. I can assume that you are here because you are troubled and considering ending your life. If it were possible, I would prefer to be there with you at this moment, to sit with you, talk, face to face and heart to heart. But since that is not possible, we will have to make do with this. I have known a lot of people who have wanted to kill themselves, so I have some small idea of what you might be feeling. I know that you might not be up to reading a long book, so I'm going to keep this short. While we are together here for the next 5 minutes, I have 5 simple, practical things I would like to share with you. I won't argue with you about whether you should kill yourself or not, but I assume that if you're thinking about it, you're feeling pretty bad. Well, you're still reading, and that's very good. I'd like to ask you to stay with me for the rest of this page. I hope it means that you're at least a tiny bit unsure, somewhere deep inside, about whether or not you really will end your life. Often people feel that, even in the deepest darkness of despair. Being unsure about dying is okay and normal. The fact that you're still alive at this minute means you're still a little bit unsure. It means that even while you want to die, at the same time, some part of you still wants to live. So let's hang on to that and keep going for a few more minutes. Start by considering this statement. Suicide is not chosen. It happens when pain exceeds your resources for coping with pain. That's all it's about. You're not a bad person, or crazy, or weak, or flawed because you feel suicidal. It doesn't even mean that you really want to die. It only means that you have more pain than you can cope with right now. If I start piling weights on your shoulders, you will eventually collapse if I add enough weights, no matter how much you want to remain standing. Willpower has nothing to do with it. Of course you would cheer yourself up, if you could. Don't accept it if someone tells you that's not enough to be suicidal about. There are many kinds of pain that may lead to suicide. Whether or not the pain is bearable may differ from person to person. What might be bearable to someone else may not be bearable to you. The point at which the pain becomes unbearable depends on what kinds of coping resources you have. Individuals vary greatly in their capacity to withstand pain. When pain exceeds pain coping resources, suicidal feelings are the result. Suicide is neither wrong nor right. It is not a defect of character, it is morally neutral. It is simply an imbalance of pain versus coping resources. You can survive suicidal feelings if you do either of 2 things. 1. Find a way to reduce your pain, or 2. Find a way to increase your coping resources. Both are possible. Now I want to tell you 5 things to think about. 1. You need to hear that people do get through this, even people who feel as badly as you are feeling right now. Statistically, there's a very good chance that you are going to live. I hope that this information gives you some sense of hope. 2. Give yourself some distance. Say to yourself, I will wait 24 hours before I do anything, or a week. Remember that feelings and actions are 2 different things. Just because you feel like killing yourself doesn't mean that you actually have to do it right this minute. Put some distance between your suicidal feelings and suicidal action, even if it's just for 24 hours. You have already done it for 5 minutes, just by reading this page. You can do it for another 5 minutes by continuing to read this page. Keep going and realize that while you still feel suicidal, you're not at this moment acting on it. That's very encouraging to me, and I hope it is to you. 3. People often turn to suicide because they're seeking relief from pain. Remember that relief is a feeling, and you have to be alive to feel it. You will not feel the relief you so desperately seek if you're dead. 4. Some people will react badly to your suicidal feelings, either because they're frightened or angry, and they may actually increase your pain instead of helping you, despite their intentions, by saying or doing thoughtless things. But you have to understand that their bad reactions are about their fears, not about you. 5. There are people out there who can be with you in this horrible time and will not judge you, or argue with you, or send you to a hospital, or try to talk you out of how bad you feel. They will simply care for you. Find one of them now. Use your 24 hours or your week and tell someone what's going on with you. It's okay to ask for help. If you need to speak to someone now, please call us at PIPS 929 on 02890 805 850, or you could try Lifeline free on 0808 808 8000, and the Samaritans on 0845 790 9090. You can also try your out-of-hours GP, your local A&E, and if you've already harmed yourself and are in danger, please phone 999 now. But do not give yourself the additional burden of trying to deal with this alone. Just talking about how you got to where you are releases an awful lot of the pressure, and it might be just the additional coping resource you need to regain your balance. Suicidal feelings are, in and of themselves, traumatic. After they subside, you need to continue caring for yourself. Therapy is a really good idea. So are the various self-help groups available both in your community and on the internet. Well, it's been a few minutes and you're still here with me. I'm really glad. Since you've made it this far, you deserve a reward. I think you should reward yourself by giving yourself a gift. The gift you will give yourself is a coping resource. Remember, back near the top of the page, I said that the idea is to make sure you have more coping resources than you have pain. So let's give you another coping resource, or 2, or 10, until they outnumber your sources of pain. Now, while this page may have given you some small relief, the best coping resource that we can give you is another human being to talk with. If you find someone who wants to listen and tell them how you're feeling and how you got to this point, you will have increased your coping resource by 1. Hopefully the first person you choose won't be the last. There are a lot of people out there who really want to hear from you, and it's time to start looking around for one of them. Now, I'd like you to call someone. PIPS 99 on 028 90 805 850, or even Lifeline 0808 808 8000.